Welcome viewers and listeners to another edition of CHP Talks. This one's a little different.
Little.
I am here with CHP candidate Jeff Willerton in Red Deer, Alberta. We've just had a wonderful meeting with Michael Clark of the Christian Impact Network here, talking about the Alberta municipal elections coming up this fall. And I was privileged to be there with Jeff and other Christian politicians here. But Jeff Willerton is running in the by-election in Battle River-Crowfoot,
Exactly.
the EDA that Pierre Poilievre is contesting. So, Jeff, thank you for doing that. We really appreciate, and we're swatting mosquitoes here. We can't help it.
We're being eaten alive here.
So
Honestly,
but we do not have access to that building because everyone else has gone home.
Everyone else has gone home. They've locked the doors, and we're doing what we can here in as short a period as possible.
Because we're all going our separate ways tomorrow,
Yeah.
and so we want to record this episode tonight. And Elaine and I are here in Alberta on a 2-week vacation, which has somehow involved a bunch of politics. But it's been a great pleasure to be here tonight with 3 of our candidates: Kevin Schulteis, Brandon
behind the camera,
Brandon Pringle, who ran in Red Deer, and Jeff Willerton, who ran in another riding. But now Jeff is going to represent the Christian Heritage Party in Battle River-Crowfoot. So, Jeff, tell the folks, I know, but you tell the folks, why are you running against Pierre Poilievre?
Because he's not remotely conservative on social issues, and although the Tories are better money managers than the Liberals sometimes, historically, they're just as bad as them on many others. They're the mirror image of them. There needs to be a pro-life, pro-freedom candidate on the ballot out there, and there's going to be more than one of us. I understand Grant Abraham is running as well, and the PPC is going to be there. But those parties cannot hold a candle to the CHP. CHP's policies have been 40 years in the making, almost, and I think it's the best organization of its kind in the country. I first heard about it in the late 90s, and I disregarded the information, unfortunately, but about 16 years later, the Tories abandoned the traditional definition of marriage in 2016. I guess it was more than 15 years later. And I met you and Elaine in the meantime, spent a weekend with you. That was wonderful, but that still didn't get me on board. But it was the Tories abandoning the traditional definition of marriage in 2016 that made me think, hey, I got to check out the CHP, look a little bit closer. And I'm embarrassed to say that was the first time I'd actually read your policies. But when I did, I just loved it.
Wonderful.
Just loved the party.
Well, we appreciate you, Jeff, very much. And folks, I hope you'll excuse us battling with the mosquitoes here. We can't help it. They're here, and they say they were here first. So
they're here, and they're suckers, but I don't know, we're suckers too.
So you don't have to go to the Red Cross and donate blood, because you're probably going to donate.
We're losing it all here tonight.
But we're doing it for Jesus, and we're doing it for this country, for our children and grandchildren, that they can have a country that they can have the freedom that we grew up with when we were young.
Exactly.
So
we're doing it for future generations. That is correct.
As we mentioned tonight, we were privileged to participate in the meeting tonight along with local candidates who are running for office in the Alberta municipal elections this fall. There were some former candidates, some current politicians, school trustees, and we were here with Michael Clark, who has been touring Alberta. He's on a tour of Alberta, trying to educate people and inform them and motivate them to get involved in municipal elections, which are just as important, and school board elections, right? But this by-election is important, and we at the CHP thought it was important for us to have a candidate in that. Even though Pierre Poilievre has a lot of momentum, there's a lot of people that are just going to vote Conservative because they want to desperately have Pierre Poilievre in Parliament, and we understand that.
Because they want to get rid of the Liberals.
And the reason is they want, but this
same reason they voted for the Tories a few months ago.
Exactly.
They want to get rid of the Liberals. How did that work for them? Not very well.
They didn't get rid of the Liberals.
No, they didn't.
In fact, in this case, here's what pro-life voters in Battle River-Crowfoot need to know. You had a good MP who was pro-life. Out of the goodness of his heart and loyalty to the party, he stepped down so that Pierre Poilievre could run there. Pierre Poilievre is pro-abortion. He says he's pro-choice. I mean, they always use terminology that sounds somewhat better, but he's pro-abortion. He supports the killing of 100,000 babies a year in Canada. He says nothing will change while I'm prime minister. He didn't become prime minister, but he is still the leader of the party. He supports the LGBT agenda. He does not say, as we do, we support traditional marriage between one man and one woman. But he sticks up for this DEI approach, this, what do you call it?
Woke, the alphabet community.
Woke ideology.
Right.
And we say, no, that's just dragging us downhill.
Absolutely.
We need to stand up for what's right.
I maintain that those behind the LGBT community and so on, those promoting the whole leftward drift in society, are probably communists at the end of the day. Motivated by communists, stimulated by communists. They're behind the scenes, pushing the agenda. So I think there's three kinds of people in the community and pushing that agenda. It's communist sympathizers, and useful idiots who don't know their work of a communist.
Useful idiots was a term developed by
Lenin,
right? Vladimir Lenin. And unfortunately, there are a lot of Canadians in that position. They're not bad people.
No.
But they have been led to believe that the narrative pushed by the leftist ideologues is reality, and they've accepted it and said, well, we can't do anything about it. We got to just go with the flow. We don't go with the flow. We stand up for what's right.
Dead fish go with the flow. The Christian Heritage Party is swimming upstream.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
One of our pastors used to say, only any old dead fish can float downstream, but it takes a real live one to go upstream. And here's a real live one right here, folks.
Another one.
Jeff Willerton, author of Fix Canada. Do you have a copy of that book handy, Jeff? Can you bring it for the camera?
I don't know why it's at this table and not that one.
It was this book. Yeah, hearing about this book that got me first to contact Jeff Willerton many years ago. And he's still selling this book, improving this book. He's
updating the book.
How many editions?
22nd edition is the one I'm on today.
So if you don't have a copy of Fix Canada, you ought to get one, read about it, and if you live in Battle River-Crowfoot, you ought to support this guy.
Absolutely.
With your time, volunteer time, your money,
beside my
your
name.
vote.
Your X beside my name.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because if godly people, if Christians, if pro-lifers if they vote for a guy like Pierre Poilievre, who says he supports abortion on demand, he supports the LGBT ideology. If you vote for him, you're telling him that these values don't matter. You're telling the national media that these pro-life values don't matter. I know you know better than that, so if you live in Battle River-Crowfoot, you need to put your efforts behind this guy. And if you don't live there, but you have friends who live there, then you need to tell them. If you're pro-life, vote Jeff Willerton and the Christian Heritage Party.
And we're out here being eaten, almost dying. You're being eaten to death by mosquitoes.
But it's all for a good cause.
It's all for a good cause.
We should put our arms out here for the mosquitoes. Because
they will be on us like white on rice.
Anyway, we hope you'll join us again next week for another edition of CHP Talks. I hope to be home by that time. We'll have other exciting guests for you, but in the meantime, I wanted you to know that the Christian Heritage Party has a candidate in Battle River-Crowfoot, and we are going to stand for righteousness, truth, justice, and freedom, and life.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Thank you, Jeff. God bless you.
Great pleasure.
Yeah.